Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that extended break, as of course the mainstream was having some fun, having some shenanigans over with their Cheeto challenge. Again, shout out to Zombergob, shout out to Fear Dragon, Steadfast, Chicken Man, Zergirl, and State for all coming together and for hosting the main event over in Vegas. We of course are the B stream, and we have our own series, we have our own matchup. We are here in the 5th round of the group stage, round robin group stage, 7 rounds in total. We're nearing the end of the group stage. We're almost there. We're almost there. Spawning in the top left hand corner of Pylon, we have the Brazilian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the Mexican Zerg representing SC2's Esports. It is Cham. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is. It is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our fresh best of 3. And also a big shout out to Thriving GG in the chat. God, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the massive raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. Hope you had a great time. And welcome one and all to the SC2's Safe House. This is a big event happening in the Americas. The players themselves are online. They're playing online, of course, from their respective countries. But the main stream is over in Vegas. So as I just mentioned, Zombergrub alongside Fear Dragon, Steadfast, Chicken Man, Zergirl, and State all did rent an Airbnb and are hanging out together, hosting the event, having some fun challenges. They're going to be having some poker later, and of course some drinking challenges and other things of that nature. Going to be happening after the matches conclude, and even in between the matches as well. And of course, this is a 2-day event. 2-day event. This is day 1, the group stage. Day 2 will be the playoff bracket. Oh boy. Top 4 players do make it through the group stage. And so far, both MasTeR and Cham have been doing very well for themselves. They're both in the upper echelons of the group, but we'll see which of these two will actually extend that lead and will actually strive further in the group. Let's go. So far, standard openers, when it comes to, we've been covering a lot of PvZ here so far in tonight's broadcast. We expect to see some standard openers. We expect to see a Stargate out of MasTeR, Stargate into a third base, into +1 on Blink Stalkers. Cham, on the flip side, has been much more aggressive here tonight. He's been very fluid in his play and been so willing to cut workers, commit with roaches, and just double down and snowball out of control. Cham has been very active, very in the face of everyone. Trigger, of Astrea, and MasTeR is going to be his next Protoss opponent, Cham, who's been quite successful in his ZvPs tonight. Let's go. Let us go. Also, buenas noches. I do know it's getting quite late over in Europa. It's getting quite late in Europe, so if you're out there, you know, get some rest, get some veg. Tune into the VODs, and of course, get ready for tomorrow's cast of the playoffs. We won't be covering the playoffs live. That is going to be covered by the mainstream. We will most likely be covering the playoffs via replays at a later time, at a later date. Meanwhile, let us say Druth and Neshe, they get into the main. Oh, and they get 1 drone so far. Nice reactions here by Cham. He does pull away in time, and he does preserve his work account. Not so good. Behind this, MasTeR, of course, did open up Stargate into the Oracle, into a third base. Behind this, we'll keep an eye on his Twilight Council timing. We'll see if it goes for an earlier Council. We'll see if it goes for an earlier Forge. We'll keep an eye on the Protoss. What does it go back in? 2 more. 2 more drones. I believe that's 3 in total. So 3 drones, 3 Lings for 2 adepts. It's an okay trade here for MasTeR. Yes, okay. Cham does shut down the final adept. And behind this, it is going to be an earlier Twilight Council. Okay, yeah, my attention. This is a Twilight Council as the third base was being thrown down. Because it's so early, because there's no Forge, this looks like Glaive Adepts. So we're expecting Glaives here out of MasTeR. On a smaller map like Pylon, this makes a lot of sense. Bearing in mind that Pylon is known for aggression, is the smallest map of the map, shortest rush distance by ground. Aggression is favored here. Yep, Gateway Explosion, show us those Glaives. Meanwhile, Cham opening up with an Oliva Chamber. This screams +1 melee. This screams we're skipping Roaches going into Ling Bane. Oh, and that is not Glaive, so we're going into Blink. You have my attention. So, a couple of things here. This was an early Twilight Council. This is a big gateway explosion. There is no Forge. This looks like, instead of Glaive Adepts, it looks like an 8-gauge 3-base all-in. No gases at the third. So you stay on 4 gases instead. 4 gases, no gas at the third base. Get up to 8 gateways. 1 gateway should be proxied across the map to reinforce. And this is going to be a massive all-in for MasTeR. So 5 gates on the way, 2 already done. That's going to be 7 in total. We're waiting for 1 more gateway. And again, it should be proxied. Now from the side of Cham, he is going straight Ling Hydra, so he's skipping Roaches, he's also skipping Banelings. Straight up Ling Hydra here is vulnerable to these all-ins and to this aggression. We'll see if MasTeR can snowball out of control. Here we go. Does move out, and where's that probe? There it is. There's a probe being sent out. What's the probe for? For the proxy gateway. The proxy gateway to reinforce across the map. Here we go. Pylon has arrived. Stalkers are reinforcing. The goal is not just to break the fourth, is to overwhelm from there and to snowball out of control, to push into the natural and to end the game. Nice bait on the stasis, very nice. Does trigger by stasis traps. Lings do pull away. As MasTeR warping in extra stalkers. Trading well, hasn't lost a stalker yet. Yellow wing control is solid. Picking up more Zerglings. MasTeR, he does kite back. Once again, another stasis goes off. Does catch the Queen. And this is getting a bit out of hand. It's getting a bit out of hand here. Hydra production has begun. We're building up those Hydras. But again, Cham, he needs that Link support. Without them, the Hydras are going to be going down. They're so vulnerable, and he blinks in. Yeah, he blinks in, he goes for the dive. MasTeR, he smells blood in the water, and MasTeR is just snowballing out of control. And as we mentioned, Cham, he was cutting corners. He failed to scout. He failed to confirm the all-in. He's had a lot of Hydras already. Brutal pickoffs. Catching out of the Queen. MasTeR, he was supply blocked. Needs those extra warpins. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. Stalkers are finally going down. But now we have some fresh Stalkers. Yeah, fresh Stalkers have arrived. As MasTeR still lacking some of those warpins. As he has excess minerals. Breaks through the expansion. Chammy's built up to 10 Hydras, soon to be 17. And MasTeR, he has to get on top of these Hydras before they mass up. He was able to previously. And MasTeR, he starts probe production. There we go, taking gases. MasTeR is transitioning. He's transitioning out of this. He has failed to kill Cham. And if MasTeR doesn't get on top of these Hydras, then, I mean, Cham is going to have a big power spike. He's going to have counterattack potential here. We'll see how many Hydras he does survive with. Yeah, Hydras getting picked up. Oh, these are expensive losses for Cham. Losing a lot of Hydras. At the same time, MasTeR should be kiting back, not fighting in. Yeah, it's a brutal trade. He reinforces. He has nothing. He has enough. He trades. Down to 8 Hydras. But these were still some brutal losses for MasTeR. Cham's still massing up. Without any Link support, though, these Hydras again, they're just so vulnerable. As MasTeR tries to step in. Not the best move here. Yeah, some questionable control out of MasTeR. He bleeds out how many Stalkers? 47 Stalkers have gone down. Brutal losses. And Cham holds. Remember, this was an all-in. Like MasTeR, he was meant to kill. He was meant to kill, he was meant to end the game. Because he fails to, this is where Cham, now his upgrades are kicking in. Now his greater economy is going to be kicking in. If he can get his 4th base up and running. Lings, they come in to reinforce. And MasTeR just didn't do enough. Yeah, he did not do enough damage. Builds up a higher Hydra count. There was a moment earlier where MasTeR, he got supply blocked, he was missing warpins. Like, MasTeR, he did fumble his assault at the most critical moments. Now he loses control of the proxy. Yeah, no more proxy gateway. No more reinforcements. The charge is almost done. Zealots, they try to rush in. Lings, they arrive just in time. They tank the Zealots. They tank the charge. And at this point, I have to give the edge to Cham. Like, sure, we have Storm on the way. That's going to be a big power spike for MasTeR. But can he get there? Can he survive? Who is MasTeR? If you're a little bit newer to StarCraft, MasTeR, he debuted, I want to say, like in 2019. He's one of the players that kind of rose up during the COVID era of StarCraft, I would say. So we were casting a lot of MasTeR like in 2019, 2020, 2021. He was a bit of a younger player. I mean, now he's a little bit older. Back then, I want to say he debuted like around 16 years old. If you remember, he debuted with Yan. Like Yanji and MasTeR, they're good friends. If you remember, in the first season, they couldn't actually play in ESL Pro Tour because they were too young, right? Like, I think they have you have to be a minimum of 15 or 16 years old to play, to compete. So that first year, they weren't able to. As Bailey's, they crash into the high Templar. Templar go down, and Cham here bombs. GG gets called, and Cham, he does take game number 1. GG. Again, Cham, once he survived the all-in, he just snowballed out of control from there. MasTeR, he had to end the game then and there. He was so close to doing so, but he got a little bit supply blocked. He was missing some warp-ins. He wasn't quite able to maintain that momentum. It was close, it was clutch, and in the end, Cham, he barely made it through. GG. GG, well played with that. Cham, he does take a lead in the series, and now we're getting into game number 2. Game 2 is going to be on Persephone. Let's go. Let us go. Looks so dead. Yeah, it was very, very close. It was very, very close. Like MasTeR, he almost broke the natural. Almost. Casito. So I'm just setting up the lobby. Setting up. Good. But yeah, so MasTeR, he debuted around, like, again, around COVID era, around 2019. And if you recall, like, he was still rising through the ranks. That was back when Paquito, he was in the chat earlier, when Paco Mike was active, when Darkness was active, when Shakti was active. And MasTeR, he was able to rise up through the Latin American ranks to become, at this point, one of the best pros players in Latin America. This was in 2024, I should say, like 2024, 2025. These last 2 years is when he cemented himself. Maybe past 3 years, like 2023 onwards. But again, that was also like partially because the other top Protoss players stepped away, right? Like Shakti retired, Paco Mike retired. But MasTeR, he stuck to it. He stuck with it. Stuck with it in their retirement. And here we go, spawning in the top left-hand corner of Persephone, we have the Brazilian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss for Team Hellfire. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the blue Zerg player, the Mexican Zerg representing Exertis Esports. It is Cham. And as we're settling into game 2, a big shout out in the chat to Dark Searcher. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dark Searcher, in the chat for the Twitch Prime. We do appreciate the support. We appreciate it, papi. Gracias. Do appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. Hope you enjoy. As Cham does go for his standard opener, he does go for a hatch pool gas, which is what he's known for. So a slightly later gas. Slightly. And again, overall, like, the build of choice I really enjoyed for MasTeR. Like, in the end, Cham, he was skipping roaches. He was droning up. He did not scout the main base. Like, MasTeR, the initial execution of the 8 gates was solid, but unfortunately, as we mentioned, like, he did kind of fumble the execution towards the tail end, in regards to the supply block, in regards to the lack of warp-ins, in regards to the maybe questionable engage towards the end after he had broken the initial Hydra army. It was close. Did fumble towards the end. Cham was able to recover. And going for an 8 gate is something you do once in a series. Like, we do not expect to see MasTeR do it again in Game 2 or Game 3 if we go to the Ace match. We should be seeing something different. And this time, Stargate. So Stargate opener at a MasTeR once again. We'll keep an eye on the timing of the Twilight Council. If it's early once again, then we can start to theorize either 8-gate Blink or 4-gate Glaive at Eps. If it's earlier. Assuming there's no Forge. Cham back on him, he pulls out of gas. So Link speed, pulls out of gas. He's not going for an early lair. He's not going for early tech. Playing standard. Did mention earlier that Cham, he is one to go for like roach all-ins and roach aggression, but that's in a longer and later game. That's like off of 3 bases. Typically off of 3 bases at least. Oh. Gracias, papi, gracias. You're the bomb lights. I'm the one that tweeted you out recently. Oh, thank you, thank you. I do appreciate it. I appreciate it. Glad to hear you go back into StarCraft. Glad to hear. Like, now is the time, I guess, because now is finally the time where Blizzard, they're paying a little bit more attention, right? We just got the latest patch. We have a new map pool on the horizon as well, with the Team Liquid map contest. I appreciate the kind words. Cham does poke in. Third base is being taken. Twilight Council gets thrown down. This is a very early Twilight Council timing here at a MasTeR. This is actually lined up the same timing that we saw last game. So if you recall, I did just say that I don't really expect MasTeR to go for an 8-gate Blink all-in 2 games in a row and again in this series, but so far he's lining up for it. So far that's what it seems like. If he pulls out a gas, then oh hello, never mind, he's going for a bit of a later Forge. This is not going to be a Blink all-in. A later Forge here, indicative here, of course, that we're taking up. Do we going to charge or blink? What's it going to be? Charge! Okay, so early charge timing. So MasTeR, he does mix it up. Now, when it comes to this build of choice, the goal and where this really thrives is if Cham skips out on roaches again. If you recall, Cham, he skipped roaches last game, he went Ling Hydra. This time, early Roach Warren. Early Roach Warren. Cham, he's playing safe. He's not cutting corners. If this was last game, if he was cutting out on roaches again, then honestly, this charge timing could just end the game. It could just kill. It's designed to punish, but Cham is playing safe. Cham, he has yet to scout the main. He's still a little bit in the dark as to what's going on, but he has the tools to defend. And he's even going into +1 range, so he's committing into a roach-based composition. So he should be fine. It should be, assuming he doesn't drone up too much. So roaches are amassing. Cham, he's double expanding, getting his own 4th and 5th base. This should just be for larva. And MasTeR, you can see here, he's banking up those zealots. He's soon going to pull the trigger. Again, it's unfortunate though, because he doesn't know what he's moving into.
Meet our fate.
The oracles, they poke in. Here come the charge lots. Here comes the charge timing. MasTeR sends it across the map. How many roaches are there? There's 8, soon to be 16 roaches. Sorry, it's going to be 17 roaches. And that is enough. Cells here reveal themselves. Roach is out of position. MasTeR does hit the third. And the roaches do respond despite that. Drones are going down. Nice hold position micro in the mineral line. Gets 8. Yeah, 8 drones go down. Nice attention to detail. Stays trap here on top of the ramp. Doesn't quite connect. And this got more than it should have. 9 drones. Doesn't do critical damage, but damage nonetheless. So 9 drones go down, and MasTeR just gets the hell out of there. He pulls away. Behind this going double robo, double immortal production. But here comes Cham. Here comes the counterattack. MasTeR doesn't really have much. He has a couple of Archons. That will help. Oh, Cham, he does peel off his army. Okay, he sees what, I mean, he sees there's an army to defend. Cham, he pulls away. He was already racing back home. Once again, MasTeR hold position in the mineral line. Doesn't quite get too much damage though. Pulls away, there's no spore. Gets 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh my god. 9, almost 9 drones. 8 drones go down. Very nice damage here by MasTeR. He pulls away. Zealot run by is ready. He's waiting for his moment. MasTeR getting a lot done. Oh. And remember, behind this, he can make 2 immortals at a time. Oh, he supply block. And now it's not the time. Not again. Brutal supply block that delays the immortals. I imagine this arm with 2 more immortals. Despite that, pushing in. Does hit the 4th. Ravagers are getting ready. Cham does hold, does deflect, does lose the base though. Barely not. He holds on to the expansion. And he's getting himself the Archons. He's going to clean this up. Yeah, MasTeR here overextends. He will lose everything. The Immortals, the Archons. Doesn't get the expansion. That was not worth it. And MasTeR, he just loses far too much. Unfortunately, the Protoss army takes so much more to rebuild, to build up, specifically the high-tech units, the Immortals, the Archons. They're not easy to replace. And Cham, he's pushing. He's all in. He's cutting workers at 68. Sorry, 67. The other base is just for larva. And Cham is just rallying everything across the map. He's sending it back. Gets on top of the Immortals, takes down the expansion. And MasTeR, he has no support. We're not going to the ace match. GG gets called, and Cham, he'll snowball out of control. He will take the series 2-0. GG. Whew. GG, well played. MasTeR, he had an interesting start to the game, going into charge the way that he did. It didn't look like he was going to do much damage, but hey, he was able to get 9 drones. He pulled away. His oracles dealt damage as well. He dealt a surprising amount of damage, but it was unfortunate that he was playing very momentum based, and again, he got supply blocked. His immortals were delayed. He pushed without the immortals. That was maybe the craziest part, right? Is he pushed without that supportive army, and he couldn't really achieve much. He pushed into the base. There were plenty of roaches to defend. It was also unlucky for MasTeR and fortunate for Cham that he didn't skip roaches, right? That he didn't go Ling Hydra again. If he had, that's where MasTeR could have thrived and could have killed. That's where he could have killed. So it was a little bit of a gamble there from MasTeR. He was hoping that Cham would be skipping roaches again, which is quite common. I think there was a comment in the chat. Someone was asking about like the meta of ZvP. It is very meta in ZvP to skip roaches and to go straight Ling Hydra, but there are some players that do decide to play it safe to get a roach horn or to commit into roaches anyway, which Cham does often do. Not every game though. Game 1 he skipped it, but here in game 2 played it safe. GG. GG, well played. With that, congratulations. Again, Cham does claim the series, and now we are getting ready for our next set of rounds. There's 2 rounds left. 2 rounds left here, and as I mentioned before, we don't know what we're casting yet. The mainstream, they're waiting for this round to complete completely, and then they're going to be seeing the standings. Speaking of, let's have a look. Let us have a look together. Exclamation mark, be in the chat to have a look at the brackets, to have a look at the Wikipedia page yourself. Oh, here we go. here we go. So we have some updates here. So Special undefeated, papi. Ay, ay, ay. Special is undefeated. Special with a 5-0. Special will come out on top here in first place. He's confirmed to make it through into the playoffs. So again, Special is confirmed. Meanwhile, we have Cham, who's up 4-1. Trigger and MasTeR barely behind him with 3-1 and 3-2 respectively. There's still a couple of matches concluding. We still have Trigger versus Estrella. Trigger is favored in that series, and we have Eggs versus Foxer also ongoing. Eggs and Foxer, of course, they're at the tail end of the bracket here. They've yet to win a series, so it's been a bit of a rougher tournament for Eggs and Foxer. Meanwhile, if Trigger can win this series, then he can cement himself once again in the upper echelons of the tournament, or of the group. But again, that's going to lead into that next round. We have Eggs versus Dolan, we have Trigger versus Special, Cham versus Foxer, and Estrella versus MasTeR. Now, if I were the mainstream, the highest profile series here would be Trigger and Special, for sure. But you could maybe argue that Trigger and Special don't matter as much, especially if Trigger wins this series mathematically. I mean, it may just be for seeding purposes. So we'll see how that does turn out. They might still want to go for it just to confirm whether or not Trigger can beat Special and Trigger can actually cement himself into the playoffs. Otherwise, you can make an argument that like the Estrella MasTeR series has a lot more weight to it, for sure. I would agree with that. Like Estrella versus MasTeR, there's a lot more, yeah, again, a lot more importance, a lot more weight on that series to determine who makes it through. Cham versus Foxer, I feel like Cham is favored there. Eggs versus Dolan. I mean, I don't want to gloss over Dolan. Dolan, he's also on the edge, on the cusp. If Dolan can beat Egg, yo, I might jump on Eggs versus Dolan. Unironically. I mean, Dolan's my boy, and I haven't casted him yet tonight. The danger, Dolan. We might jump on Dolan after this. We might. And then, of course, we have round 7, the final round.